people on the next, week.
I'm just gonna catch you then.
I'm not catching.
All right.
Don't forget to turn your microphones on, everybody. We're live? Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'll call our regular public council meeting for Monday, August 22nd to order. Dun, dun, dun. First things first, we got a motion to appoint acting town clerk. Could I get someone to make that motion, please?
Second.
You're not going to read it out?
In the absence of the chief administrative officer / town clerk for a public council meeting Monday, August 22nd, 2022, that deputy clerk and Pico be appointed as acting town clerk. Any operational matters are to be referred to the appropriate department director. So
Moved, seconded, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All right, now, new business.
Ralph's not on either. Your mic on?
What?
Mayor, can you just, wait a second, for some reason, the video hasn't gone on live, although it's saying on it, just let me, we might have to start it over.
All right. Technical difficulties.
Marvels of technology.
I know.
Huh?
It's wonderful. Good. It's live now. We don't need to do that motion again. The motion is already done. So I'll just inform people because the thing just went live. We did pass a motion to appoint Ann Pico as the acting town clerk for this meeting. So that was passed, unanimous. Now, new business. Councillor Tapper.
thank yous.
Councillor Pollard.
Pass.
Councillor Goss.
Pass.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you and condolences.
And I got some thanks to do there. All right. Is there anybody that would like to get added to the first Q&A session? No? All right, and with that said, because Don is not here tonight, if anybody has a question that comes up during the meeting and they would like to email it, they can email it to apico@torbay.ca. And we will get it in the second Q&A. All right, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda as amended, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. We have a set of public council minutes for July 18th, regular public council meeting. Can I get a motion to adopt those, please?
So moved.
Moved,
Second.
seconded, any errors or omissions? See none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We have minutes of a special public council meeting dated July 25th. Get a motion to adopt those, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, errors, omissions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. There you go, done. Conflict of interest, anybody have any conflicts they'd like to interest? Or interest they'd like to conflict? Carry on.
Yeah, as noted here under the planning files, I'm associated with the Folk Arts Council for that
Okay.
motion.
That's it. We'll deal with that when the motion comes forward. All righty. Proclamations, presentations. Who's going to do this one? Did you say, Mary?
Tony.
Do you have a copy, Tony?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
As long as technology stays the way it is, it'll be fine. The August 24th, 2022 is Ukraine's 31st Independence Day proclamation. Whereas the Act of Declaration of Independence of Ukraine was adopted by the Parliament of Ukraine, referred to as the Verkhovna Rada, on August 24th, 1991, the Parliament of Ukraine formally declared an independent and democratic Ukrainian state, establishing the territorial integrity of Ukraine as sovereign and inviolable, further upheld by an overwhelming majority of Ukrainians in a national referendum in December of the same year. And whereas, while the portions of Ukraine's territory are currently under Russian military occupation in contravention of international law, we honor the efforts and sacrifices of the armed forces of the Ukraine to stave off further Russian military advances in Ukraine and their readiness to defend the entire European continent and its allies against further aggressive actions of the Kremlin. And whereas Canada's House of Commons recognized that the Russian Federation's war in Ukraine as a genocide against Ukrainian people, this motion was introduced by Heather McPherson, MP, Edmonton Strathcona, was adopted by the House of Commons unanimously. And whereas for centuries the people of Ukraine sought and struggled to achieve an independent state, all the while preserving their culture, language, and self-identity. And whereas today the Independence Day of Ukraine is the country's primary state holiday and is recognized by the flying of the national flag on the eve of the holiday, followed by many celebratory activities. And whereas the Ukrainian flag was reinstated in 1992 and was adopted by the Parliament of Ukraine, with the color blue representing the sky and waters of Ukraine, while the golden yellow band of the flag is symbolic of wheat fields of the country. And whereas proud Ukrainian Canadians continue to make significant contributions to the cultural fabric of Canada while embracing their rich history and heritage, with which they share values of freedom, democracy, and the rule of law.
And now therefore, I, Mayor Craig Scott, do hereby proclaim August 24th, 2022 as Ukrainian Independence Day and urge all citizens to join in commemorating this important anniversary. On this day, let us recommit ourselves to helping the Ukrainian nation reclaim full sovereignty over its international borders and remember the heroines and heroes who sacrificed their lives to ensure freedom and happiness for future generations. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Craig Scott, proclaim August 24, 2022 as Independence Day of Ukraine in the town of Torbay. So moved.
Seconded.
Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Tony. August 22nd, 2022. There. All right, where are we to? Okay. So we have some presentations to make here for our Torbay 50th banner competition. We do have some people here in chamber to recognize and accept their awards. I think that I'll just briefly go through them, and then we'll call you up one by one. So we have some honorable mentions from Colin Noseworthy, Heather Coughlin, Lauren Horlick, Michelle and Mitchell Colburn, and unfortunately they couldn't be able to attend, and Sharon Hotchwald, is that right? Yeah, Hotchwald, and her husband Mike is here to accept on her behalf. And our winner was Mona Earl. And all of these banners, the honorable mentions that I mentioned, these 5, are hanging at Torbay Common if anybody wants to see them. And the winner is flying outside of Town Hall here. So, I guess without any further, I will mention that we did have over 220 entries received in this competition, which I think is really good and showed a lot of people had a lot of interest. And all of those entries, the original drawings, are also displayed on the walls over at Torbay Common. So if you're over there and you want to have a look, go over and see the artwork that people have done. And it's a really wide range of age groups that got involved in this competition, which is also really nice. So it kind of is similar to our Christmas card competition that we do, which is usually, that's just with the school students. So it's nice to have so many people involved in this, and the designs that people came up with were just amazing. And I thank everybody for doing that, for those that are here to be recognized, and for those people that submitted entries that didn't win, but they're all awesome, in my opinion. So thank you again for that. So, all right, let me see. I'm going to get up and do this. Will I get up and do it? All right. Do you want to help me, Rob? Mary?
Deputy Mayor.
Need these?
Hmm?
Oh.
Come on.
Excuse me. You two all the same, man? Excuse me.
Are you getting up?
No, just fine.
Yeah, sure, you can hold on to it.
Okay.
So the first one of our honorable mentions is Sharon Hotwell. And I'll have the mic here to pick it up.
Mayor, would you like the mic so those listening at home?
Yeah, okay.
can hear?
I shoved it out of the way, I guess I shouldn't have really. All right, so our first honorable mention, it's really loud, is Sharon Hotwald, and her husband Mike is here to accept on her behalf. And it's a prize of $75.
Hey, that's nice, thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll switch in here and get a picture of us.
Okay.
Or do you want the coat? It's like a street. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and our next one is Lauren Horlick. Oh, I guess Lauren Horlick wasn't able to make it here. So we'll make sure that she gets her prize. Next one is Heather Coughlin. Coughlin?
Cotton.
Coughlin.
Sorry, Heather. Inside information, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There you go. And this one is $150.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just smile and say thank you.
All right, and the next one is for Colin Noseworthy. Congratulations, thank you. Over here. That was also for 150. All right, thank you. And the last one, our winner was Mona Earl. And there was a prize of $250, I think. Welcome. All right. So for those, the other two winners that we had, we'll make sure that they get their prize and their gift bag sent on. Okay? So I just want to say again, thank you all, and you've done wonderful work. And we're very happy, and I guess we'll be having those banners flying for a while. I don't think we're going to take them and tuck them away at the end of the year, but I mean, it's all good. Thank you very much.
We're blessed to have such talent here in the town too, so.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Is there ever-
Goes
amazing.
without saying.
Great job, everybody.
yeah.
Wonderful job.
Congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Now where am I at?
Nice to have a
Mayor's
name in the
report.
face.
Can I say that this is an exit moment for people unless they want to be here to 9:30?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
they could, you don't have to hang around for the rest of the meeting if you don't want to.
good
Thank you
job,
for
Paula.
coming. Okay. But you're not gonna be here till 9:30, Colin. I guarantee it. Thank you,
Yeah,
everybody.
good night.
Thank you. I'll just give you an idea. Mayor's report. I report that everything is best going. I've been really busy since the last meeting with attending town events, and if anybody has been around, I'm sure you've seen us, and myself and other members of the council attending events and serving breakfast and doing whatever it is that we need to do to try and celebrate our 50th celebrations, and everything is going really well and well attended, and that's all I got to report. So all good. So that'll just give you an indication of where we're going. Business arising. Any business arising from the minutes? Seeing none, best kind. Moving on. Correspondence. There is a correspondence from Municipal and Provincial Affairs Asset Management Plans. We will forward that on to Corporate Services, I think.
Yeah.
All right. There's a correspondence here from NL 911 about the new Emergency 911 Act, Emergency Services Branch of Department of Justice and Public Safety. And we will.
Can I just go back to the other one, because they're saying that, my God, there's some echo from this tonight. With regards to that, the forms and the AMRS to be completed by the 26th.
Yep.
So I'm just assuming that
Ours is done, I believe.
that would be done, completed, yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
looking at the date, there's a concern.
Yeah, this was in reference to the community, I guess it would have been, used to be the gas tax fund, right, Tony?
Yes.
Now it's the infrastructure fund, and that municipalities are required to have a certain level on the readiness scale, and which is the AMRS that Deputy Mayor had referred to. And I know that we have ours completed up to the scale that's
Okay,
required.
perfect.
Okay.
Just on that note, can we ask Corporate Services to circulate that to us so we know, because this is essentially our starting point. We would have had to have one done for the application to Federation of Canadian Municipalities for that asset management grant, so I would assume that would be the same one. But this is part and parcel of the ongoing requirement now from the province and the federal government for gas tax money moving forward. So if we can have them circulate a copy to us, so we can at least know ourselves what it looks like and where we stand on it. And
Yeah, no, that's a great idea, and along with an explanation, I guess, of where we're to and how it affects us. And
yeah, there's a document there as well that I can circulate to everybody for explanation of how it works and what it is. And but anyway,
okay, it's all good. And then the NL 911, I guess that got to go to also Corporate Services. There's one here from Municipal and Provincial Affairs, Pension Plan Solvency Deficit Funding Plan. I think this one has the potential to be, I don't know a better word than detrimental, Tony, to some municipalities if they go through with some of the suggestions that they were making. But Corporate Services with that one as well, too?
it would be, yeah. The only thing I say about that is there's a response, a joint response from TRIO, who are the pension administrators at this point in time, and M&L. I'm surprised it didn't get in around the same time, because I know Dietra left it, and we're working on a response to the province. There are some ramifications to this overall, and I know personally, where I'm president of TRIO, we did have conversations with the province in terms of trying to get the rationale behind the letter being sent out, and we couldn't get that because it was a cabinet paper. And I said to them, boys, well, someone had to have some rationale to get a cabinet paper done. Sorry, we can't give you those documents because they're confidential. That's pretty good. So you're going to send out a letter that, you know, essentially doesn't change anything. And interestingly enough, the provincial government and Memorial University are exempt from it. So it only impacts, you know, the municipalities and the city of St. John's and Mount Pearl, and obviously some of the larger communities. You know, it depends on what they want to do from Torbay's perspective. It means $880,000 if they want us to pony up in 5 years, which is an extra $194,000 a year. That's Torbay's portion of it. Obviously, the larger cities have a much more, you know, larger dollar figure associated with it. You know, from where I'm sitting, it doesn't really change much in terms of the way we operate. It just means you get to an endpoint faster, but, you know, when you get faster, then you end up not having to make payments. But we're still working on the response, and the province has not set any guidelines there. They just sent a letter around saying, do something by the 23rd,
Okay.
but no direction as to what needs to be done.
No, and I know
More to
that
come.
we did discuss this at M&L board
Yep.
meeting last,
Yep.
and I guess we have a response prepared, I guess, for that.
Yeah, we had a meeting scheduled for last week, but everyone wasn't available with M&L and ourselves too, so, yeah.
Okay. The next one is from Department of Transportation and Infrastructure, and it's about our open space trails approval. So that's the approval for an application that we made with regards to some trails that we applied on in our multi-year capital works. So that's approval to go forward, I guess. Enter in contract, yes, okay. So we'll send that one off to Corporate Services
Public
and
Works.
Planning, Public Works, wherever. Somebody will get it. Y'all got it now anyway. This is a report on the last FCM Annual Conference and Trade Show. There's lots of information there, if anybody wants to go through it. Just looking to see if there's anything interesting. Anyway, it's a fairly large document, so you can just go ahead and have a browse of it. If you have any questions when you come back, probably next week, we can talk about it. The next one is a letter that I received the other day from the Prime Minister's office in regard to a letter that council had sent to the federal government about Bay to North Development Project. And I don't think there's really much in there. They,
Wasn't much of a letter.
what?
It wasn't much of a letter.
No, right. It's basically acknowledging that they received our letter, I think, and that the process is moving forward, so. It's there for information. I don't know that we gotta send it actually anywhere. All right. Now, where am I to? Committees of Council. There's committee whole minutes for July 6th, 2022. There's motions in there, we should do those.
Those were done.
Yeah,
The July 6th is just to adopt the minutes themselves.
okay, all right, we already adopted those motions
The motions are adopted.
last meeting,
There was conflict of interest.
right.
And there wasn't a quorum to.
Okay, so,
vote on the motion to adopt.
all right, okay. So just need a motion to adopt the minutes, please.
So moved.
Moved,
Second.
seconded. Any errors or omissions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. There's minutes from the committee of the whole for July 25th.
There are motions for that, I think. I don't think they were put through, were they?
No, there's motions in there, so we need to do those. Got to get someone to move those, please?
I'll take care of those.
All right, buddy.
The three motions that we are under, for this July 25th meeting, refer to land acquisitions. Motion one is the town will not purchase the land and residence located at 1262 Torbay Road. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Motion two, the town will not purchase 2,030 square meters of land located to the rear of property located at 1278 Torbay Road. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Motion three, the town of Torbay will not purchase approximately 3.73 acres located at 7 Pump House Road. So moved. Second.
Moved, seconded. Is it 3.73 or 13.73? I think it's 13.
I don't know, right offhand. All I know is the piece of property on 7 Pump House Road,
All right.
right offhand.
Well, if we're not going to.
Well, it relates to the offer that was requested from from the person who sells, so it's not, it relates to the 7 Pump House Road offer, I guess, as opposed to any specific acreage that's associated with it.
Right, okay.
And same with the other 3 motions for anybody who might look at us from the outside saying, where did these come from? They came from individual residents, I guess, and landowners asking if we wanted to purchase certain pieces of property, and at this point in time, we decided that we weren't in that market.
Okay, all right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So we got to get that corrected, or that's what's in there is approximately,
Yeah.
so we're not sure. Julie, would you know what the,
I don't know off the top of my head right now. I'd have to dig into the file.
because if we're not going to put in there approximately whatever, then that needs to be amended, because that's how the motion is written.
Right.
So,
Well, we're not gonna approximately buy that 3.73 acres. If we
Yeah,
have to
but
come
if
back
that's
with
the
another one,
right- yeah.
or 10, we can do that after.
maybe it should be just amended that we're not buying the land located at 7 Pump House Road. Anyway,
Right, I'll go for that.
it might be an issue if somebody goes back and looks at this later on, is what I'm
Okay.
thinking.
Yep,
So
so we
maybe
can
it
do
should
that.
be amended.
We could take the approximately 3.73
Yes.
acres out,
Yeah.
and
New motion
basically a
reads,
friendly
Town of Array will
amendment,
not purchase the property located at 7 Pump House Road.
Yes.
So-
as offered by the property owner. That'll cover off whatever that acreage was. All right? So that's a friendly amendment.
Yes.
We'll just vote on it again as friendly amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right, now we just need the motion to adopt those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, where am I to? Minutes, committee of the whole, August 1st. Oh, there's a motion in there.
Mhm.
There is a motion in there, yes.
Okay. Do you want to go forward with that one, Tony?
Yeah, sure. Motion further to Resolution 219-2022, which states council will cover the costs associated with council rep will be attending FCM Board of Directors meeting as per the council development and travel policy and the 2022 professional budget allocation for individual council members, and further to the professional development budget allocations approved for council members as follows: mayor $3,000 and individual council members, include the deputy mayor at $2,000 each, and based on the fact that Councilor Appleby has expended $2,066.45 to date, which is over her budget allocation, Councilor Appleby is not approved to attend the FCM Board of Directors meeting in Strathcona, as funds are not in place to cover the expenditure. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments, questions?
I just got a question or a comment to put in there. We're saying that not approved to attend, but she can attend, but it would be the way that it's read there now. She can't attend because we don't have the funds, but if she had her own funds and wanted to, yes, she could attend. So I'm just, you know what I mean
Yeah,
there?
Our policy states that if anybody wants to attend anything on their own.
On their own,
they can
yes,
still do that.
but that's not the way that
But
really,
this wouldn't override our policy.
But it refers to travel policy.
yeah. Okay.
Great. All in
Okay.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
One opposed.
All right, needs a motion to adopt those minutes, please.
Councilor Goss opposed.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Motion to adopt the minutes.
So moved.
Moved,
Second.
seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All righty. Committees of council, planning, land use development.
Mayor Scott, can I
Yep.
interrupt for a second?
Sure.
The July 6th minutes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware who was in conflict during that meeting. And I know Deputy Mayor seconded, and she was in conflict as it related to the water allocations.
But that was for the motions, right?
So,
So to
yeah.
adopt minutes.
So I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of
Yeah.
those.
To adopt, to adopt minutes is, we never ever deal with conflicts for that. It's the same as every meeting we adopt the minutes of the last meeting. if there was places within that meeting where people had to step out, it's recorded in the minutes that they did that, so it's good.
Yeah.
Just on that, last minutes from committee of the whole meetings, August 1st. Were we reviewing that again? Or was that the final say on it? Because that goes back to August 1st. We're now in the 22nd of August. I thought we had more discussion afterwards, did we not?
I'm not sure.
That was
You
the
mean the
last
policy?
meeting that we had.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the finance committee or the HR committee has had further discussion. I do know that there's proposed changes or alterations to the travel policy that we discussed that HR might bring forward at a further time with regards to reallocating money and all that kind of stuff. Am I right on that, Mark?
Yeah, so I did meet with the CEO, and we had a discussion about the revisions that are required when it comes to outstanding or funds not utilized. The Director of Corporate Services is away on holidays right now. He's back on the 29th, so we are going to follow up with him and have a joint meeting between Corporate Services and myself and CAO to make those revisions, and then we will bring them forward.
All right, okay. Thank you. That answer your question, Tony?
Yes, it does. Anyway, I won't go where my mind was going that time. Sorry.
All right. All right. Planning and land use development. Councillor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship.
And there's a bunch of minutes there. Which ones are we doing? August 22nd, right?
Where am I now is the question.
29th.
For the 29th and August 12th. Are they all in the one report, right, Julia? Looks like?
The motions report is the first item on the agenda listing, so it's like 7.2.1. That's the one to go with.
Okay.
The who, the what?
Did-
All right.
He-
Planning Development Committee meetings as of June 29th and August 12th. Refers to a council meeting July 6th, and special meetings of August 1st and the 11th, and for today's date. So, prepared on the 17th of August. The first motion relates to Torbay Common, the land around Torbay Common to make that recreation open space, and the amendments that take place. So it relates to the address itself at Torbay Common and the property we purchased behind on Tapper Place. So the town of Torbay is in the process of amending the municipal plan designation and the land use zone for the two town-owned properties at 6 Kinsman Place and 9 Tapper Place to bring them in line with the same zoning as Torbay Common. The properties were purchased some time ago, however, were never rezoned from their former residential use to now recreation open space zoning to serve in conjunction with the Torbay Common open space. The public hearing process recently concluded. There was one inquiry, but no written representations or objections were received. Hence, the public hearing was cancelled. Further, to council having already adopted the amendment on May 2nd, 2022, the matter is now forward to council with a recommendation for final approval. This process is in keeping with the requirements for amendments on the Urban, Rural, and Planning Act. The amendment documents, the detailed background report, and flood committee minutes of June 29th are attached for reference. So the committee reviewed the draft amended documents and background report presented, supported the department's recommendation, and is tabling the following motion. Motion to approve Torbay Municipal Plan Amendment Number 6, 2022, and Torbay Development Regulation Amendment Number 10, 2022. So moved.
Moved? Seconded. Moved and seconded. Comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
The next motion was really, it's a fair bit of history associated with this in terms of what actually transpired at the time and where we end up today in relation to some water sewer service connection fees on Darrell Pye Drive. The report is attached. The discussion was, how we could potentially forgive fees associated with connection fees for a number of lots and move forward and not allow someone else to also avail of a break when it's written in the taxation policy. And the fact of the matter is, I guess, most developments end up have to incur those costs anyway. So there's nothing out of the ordinary. So the motion is to refuse the request to waive $3,500 water and sewer connection fee for infill development on Darrell Pike Drive for the following reasons. There is no prior public motion regarding this on record. It will be contrary to the published text and fee structure in effect, and concerns about setting a precedent for any future and other similar applications. So moved.
Second?
Moved, seconded, comments? Right.
I can support this motion based on the fact that while I don't have all of the information, I do know back at that time that there was a discussion, and all of this was included as part of the negotiations for the school being built over there. And there was at the planning meeting, and I know there was an email that went saying about one lot, and I can't see it being for one lot and not intended for all of them. I'm just wondering if, I know that the developer was going to go back and look through the various documents, and that they had to see if they had anything in writing from, I guess it'd be Work Services and Transportation, I don't know from which department, but did they bring anything back in from their documents to say what was included in the negotiations and that at that time?
I've not received anything after the meeting that was had, so I didn't receive any additional information.
I know, because at that meeting, they were going to bring in some other information that they had and go back to the provincial government to look and see what they could get. But I do recall something, and it's one of these things, while there was no public motion, I guess there has been a number of occasions where we didn't have a motion, but if there were discussions again, and we're in another situation similar to this, where discussions took place with the staff, and I guess it's lessons learned to make sure you have everything in writing, but I cannot vote in favor of this motion based on the history that's with it.
Okay. Any other comment?
Yeah. Oh, I think to, you know, obviously they were given an opportunity to go back and find the documents, if there was any. And if we approve this now, you know, they could still do that. And maybe, you know, they'll have more intent to try to find them, to avoid this charge. So, you know, I think it'll be
Did they know that this was coming forward tonight, this motion? Because it was deferred for a period of time, so they know that this was coming forward tonight?
I doubt it.
Have anybody been communicated with them?
So I guess, I mean, if they come back after with something, it's a fee, so it's not like it's preventing anybody from building. The only thing I would say, somebody has to pay that $3,500 fee, whether it's the government or whether it's the developer. If I go out here and I buy a lot on Torbay Road that's accessible to water and sewer, I had to pay the $3,500 fee. If I'm a developer and I put a road in, I put 6 lots on it, and I put all the infrastructure in, I put all the water lines in, I put all the stuff, I still had to pay the $3,500 fee for each house. So somebody has to pay it. It can't be just, I think that's the crux of the argument. If the government agreed that they were gonna pay it,
They need to, yes.
then they need to bring forward something to say that they're gonna pay it, and they
Yeah.
would have to pay it. Somebody has to pay it. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Carry on, sir.
Thank you, Your Worship. The next item up is the construction of the performance stage for Folk Arts Council and picnic area on Torbay Beach.
Want me to step out for this one?
Yeah.
It's all the discussion around this represents, you know, what can we do and how do we go about doing something for the Folk Arts Council, I guess, and the broader Torbay community in terms of entertainment. And while we're inside, I say restricted zones, for lack of a better word, or non-town controlled zones, I guess is probably a better way to say it. Either the province or, DFO or the federal government, whoever can control those buffer areas. So we're certainly in favor of it, and the motion reads that way, that, after going through all the information and getting approvals from the required people, Crown Lands and DFO, I guess, or whomever, there are requirements associated with that from them themselves, and that's in the documentation that's behind. So the motion here is to conditionally approve use of Torbay Beach area for use as performance and picnic area in accordance with requirements of the Torbay Municipal Plan and Development Regulations 2015-2025, more specifically section 3.2.9 of the Torbay Municipal Plan, the Conservation Land Use Zone Table Requirements, Regulation 10 of the Torbay Development Regulations 2015-2025, as well as the Crown Land Approval Conditions. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? I would say this, that this is a perfect example of, this is built already. It looks wonderful, and they've already used it. So we were able to, during a committee of the whole meeting, come to an agreement of council to, yes, move forward and do that. And now we're bringing forward the motion to ratify it at a public meeting, which is our duty to do. But if we had to wait until now to do it, they'd only be starting next week probably to build it. We would have missed that time. We could have called a special public meeting to pass one motion, but I think that, in a town our size and all sizes, that you have to be a bit flexible in how you do things, and, it's still coming to a public council meeting and being ratified at a public council meeting. So I think that's perfectly in line with how we do our business. So just in case anybody has any questions, why we're passing the motion now and the thing is already done. It was already, I guess, indicated in our last public council meeting that this motion was going to be in our committee of the whole minutes anyway. So, anyway. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I just want to add something in there for the minutes that's attached to this, and the recommendation here is as this motion, but this came up a while back and there was a lot more conditions to be included with it. But in the package, it's the original conditions saying that this is the recommendation of the committee, so they need to be changed, because usually the recommendation is the same as what's in the motion, but the background is not, don't coincide with what's in here.
Yeah, that was changed, I think, after the committee looked at it and decided.
I know, but it don't reference that in the minutes or anything. The motion was changed, but the recommendations and that's in there. So if anybody was reading this and they look at the motion versus the recommendations, because the motion don't coincide with the other recommendation that's in there. I maybe there's no difference in it, but, and the fact that we asked for it to be, we deferred it, I think, and asked for it to come back, it could be confusing to anybody who wants to ask the question. And one of the particular things was about the traffic, and one of the ones was about having a public washroom.
Right.
And we had said no, but that's the recommendation from the committee.
But the recommendation now from the committee
Now,
is
from this one
motion.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it don't list in the recommendation here, it don't list what the conditions were.
So they are not part of it.
Yeah, I know, but in the other one, I'm just saying, there's two
Yeah.
different variations of it
Right.
in there now, in the package that's attached for anybody that's looking at it and want to question.
Okay. All right,
We'll review that and.
can we get Councillor Tepper? Okay, carry on, sir.
Thank you, Your Worship. The next one is to do with a variance, residential infill along Mans Lane. Town of Probation received an application to construct a new single-family dwelling with on-site well and septic services at 52 Mans Lane. The location map is attached for the reference. The majority of the subject property is located within the residential infill land use zone. The rear portion extends into the residential subdivision area land use zone. The maximum permitted frontage in the RI zone on the existing road for unserviced development is 30 meters. The applicant is requesting a minor variance to the minimum frontage requirement to allow the proposed 29.6 meter frontage. And that falls within all the regulations and the 10% variance. Is there a motion associated with this?
Yep.
Sorry, I am, yes, 1 second. All the information is the same as that. I was in the background report because I was looking.
It's on page 5, Tony.
Deputy Mayor was, bear with me 1 second, please, thanks. Yes, didn't go back, my technology didn't allow me to do that. Okay, the motion to conditionally approve the variance request to reduce the frontage development standard at 52 Mans Lane to 29.6 meters in accordance with regulation 11, 12, and 33, the Torbay Development Regulations 2015 to 2025, and issue an approval in principle subject to standard development conditions for home constructions in the town of Torbay. So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And the last item is the attached permits listings for the week ending August 17th are out back. So motion to accept permit listings for the weeks ending August 17th, 2022 as presented. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So ends my report, Your Worship.
All right, excellent. Thank you. All right, Administration and Human Resources. Councillor Manning, Deputy Mayor.
We had our meeting on August 9th. And committee members, well, I just wanted to add in here that Councillor Pollard will be the alternate on this while Rhonda's away. Everything here is straightforward. There's no motions. I'd just like to emphasize the fact that our strategic plan is for September 26th, and we really need to have that in place in order to move ahead with this year's budget. So the big emphasis is to make sure that everybody is available for that evening. So, and nothing else is basically some of the things we've already talked about. So if anybody got any questions without me reading down over all of it?
Nope.
Is the gap analysis going to be ready for us to speak at during budget time? Does everybody know?
There's the man.
Yeah, so we are having ongoing discussions about the gap analysis and as it ties into compensation and benefits for the upcoming budget discussion. So we will have our, I guess, ducks in a row when it comes to preparation and discussion around how the findings from the gap analysis tie into the 2023 budget discussions.
Reference was made to, when I know we had a conversation a while ago in terms of what gap analysis, excuse my back, I'm talking to the microphone. Gap analysis here referred to compensation and benefits as opposed to, I guess, the actual work holds, shall we say, in terms of what we need to cover off the areas on an ongoing basis. Is that going to be part and parcel of the findings and the analysis as well?
Yeah, so there are some other items that don't have financial implications that tied into the gap analysis, Tony, so if I understand your question correctly, which we're working on as well, which should be in the minutes report when we talk about performance management, contingency plan, et cetera, et cetera. So all that work is ongoing, but, which will be rolled out in the fall as well. So, but the gap analysis findings that tie into the budget, obviously we need to have a discussion around that when it comes time for that budget discussion.
Okay, thanks.
All right, before we go forward, I'd like to get a motion to appoint Councillor Pollard as the alternate for Administration and Human Resources Committee until, in the absence of the chair.
So moved.
Second.
Moved, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried. I only did that because our committee standing structure is motion of council. So in order to make that little change, it's no big deal, but it's done now. Hang on. Gee, thanks. Okay. All right, thank you. Corporate Services. Councillor Tapper.
Okay, there are a number of documents there again. We'll deal with numbers 1 and 2 first. The committee report, I just enter this into the record, read it into the record. For payroll, regular payroll for 61 employees for the 2-week period ended July the 29th, 2022, total $122,041.48. Accounts payable for the 2-week period ended July the 29th, 2022, invoices in the amount of $185,362.02 were processed. Invoices for approval. There are 13 operating invoices totaling $180,322.66. So I'll read the list. Invoice number July 2022, CIBC Mellon, pension contributions, $24,220.44. Invoice 90192701, Esri Canada, Argus Online Annual Subscription, $6,900. Invoice 22061, Grand Concourse Authority, Trail Maintenance, $12,477.92. Invoice V-1095, iSoft Technologies, Inc., Voyant Alert Subscription, $7,475. Invoice 192985, Island Office History House Office Furniture, $17,147.65. Invoice 25707, Lucidity Technologies Corp. Got some juicy ones to pronounce here this evening. Archive Software, $14,375. Invoice 1189, Mercer's Paving Incorporated, Asphalt Patching, $15,038.21. Invoice June 30th, 2002, NL Power Street Lighting, $19,859.62. Invoice 151235516, Narrow Marketing Limited Partnership, Diesel, $7,987.92. Invoice July 16th to the 31st, 2022, Receiver General, Payroll Source Deductions, $37,407.90. Invoice 214917, Triware, IT Support, $5,750. Invoice 214932, Triware Samsung Galaxy Active Pro Tablet, $5,419.95. Expense claim, Town of Torbay Volunteer Fire Department, operating expenses, $6,263.05. So moved, those invoices.
Moved,
Seconded.
seconded, and could you make a note that the Newfoundland Power one is June 30th, 2022 and not 2002? First one? All right, thanks. Any questions?
I have a few, and maybe it's just a matter of Ann making notes on, I wouldn't expect necessarily the committee would know the answers to it. The office furniture for History House, $17,000, I'm assuming that's more than office furniture, and I don't know what's included in that $17,000. Seems like a big price tag for office furniture. I could be wrong. The archive software, does that require any special knowledge or use of that? Does it require a special person to use that software, or is I'm assuming Noah knows how to use it. Anybody else, or do we need anybody extra training to go along with that? Just asking from a backup perspective. And the last one is the Samsung Galaxy Active Pro tablet. For whom was that one particularly purchased? Because it's a tablet and not a computer, which we have, and I don't remember anyone talking about using the Samsung tablet for any particular reason. And you get it, I mean, tablet is, you know, $600 or $700, and not $5,000, so obviously it's something that's not.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah, it's not your average.
So we can just
We'll
put a
get
note on
Norm to
file
check
for
on
that.
them, yeah.
Well, wouldn't the invoices be attached to that, like I guess when Norm is here, he normally goes
Norm
in.
can see
Yeah,
that. We
yeah.
can't.
Okay. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, the following 6 capital invoices totaling $234,579.42 are presented for approval. Invoice 202206-002, Borealis Consulting, Inc., renovations Torbay History House, $22,350.12. Invoice 2022-045, Fundamental, Inc., Project Management History House Museum, $29,041.18. Invoice 22065, Grand Concourse Authority, Pedestrian Bridge Rattling Brook to Bypass, $5,365.83. Invoice 22066, Grand Concourse Authority, Western Island Steps, $44,741.41. Invoice 2021-0363, Technical Rope and Rescue, Inc., 6 Ice Commander cold water suits, $6,756.25. Payment 6 Wares Construction Limited, Torbay Road Sidewalks, $126,324.63. So move for payment.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right.
Okay, looking at number 2, the Corporate Service Committee motions. So motion number 1, pertaining to write-off of historical uncollectible accounts. After review of accounts receivable records, outstanding amounts dating from 2010 to 2021 are required to be officially written off by council. These amounts have already been written off in the town's audited financial statements. The write-off will have no impact on the current year's budget or operations. To adjust the town's accounts receivable records to coincide with the audited financial statements, the Corporate Service Committee recommends the write-off of the following amounts for taxes: $262,834.12, and accrued interest $196,337.67. So there's a list of the numbers there pertaining to each year. Again, it's from 2010 to 2021. So the total is $459,883.05. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So motion number 2 pertaining to loan financing. Rate quotes were solicited from financial institutions to finance the purchase of a JCB loader with Craig attachments from Harvey and Company Limited in the amount of $425,387 plus HST. Total cost $489,915.05. The total cost to finance net of HST rebate is $443,619.09. And there's two mid-sized pickups from Terranova Motors in the amount of $117,378 plus HST. Total cost $134,984.70. Total cost of finance net of HST rebate is $122,408.82. 1.5 ton pickup with fiberglass cap and trailer from Hickman Motors in the amount of $79,678 plus HST. Total cost $91,629.70. Total cost of finance net of HST rebate $83,093. So the quotes we received are listed there. Rate quotes from RBC for 5-year amortization for all 3 pickups was 5.33%. The 10-year amortization for JCB loader 5.29%. The NLCU 5-year amortization for all 3 pickups 6.5%, and the 10-year amortization for JCB loader is 6.50%. So the recommendation. The Corporate Services Committee recommends the awarding of the debt financing for the JCB loader to RBC with any amortization period of 10 years at the interest rate of 5.29%. The Corporate Service Committee recommends...
Can we move that one first?
Yes, sorry about that.
Sorry,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Move.
So moved on that.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or comments?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I apologize again because it's just popping into my little head now while I'm looking at things. There's a couple of things gone through my mind, and I think it comes to a point in time, I guess, where we're going to have to make a corporate decision as to what we go up to finance and what we're actually purchasing. I know we can't do. The rates are getting to the point now that they're exorbitant and they're costing us a fortune. There's $130,000 worth of extra cost associated with this loader over the 10-year period. When I was reviewing the documentation, and like I said, I apologize, I would like to speak to committee about this earlier. My thought would be to actually borrow from ourselves, borrow from our asset management fund, and repair our asset management fund over a period of years. We haven't set that up yet in terms of what our plan is around that and what that looks like moving forward, but we know come budget time we've got to start setting money aside, not only because we have to, but because we're going to be legislated to do some in terms of laying dollars. And we're paying $130,000 out to Royal Bank or the credit union. Why not pay ourselves back that money at the same time? Now, it ties into a longer term plan in terms of what we're going to do with that $2.3 million we have in that reserve fund that we have. Probably not the best time to go using it, but we're hitting to the point now where the interest rates are becoming really, really hard to handle. So that's got to be a greater discussion overall. Second one is, I know by looking at or I suspect that the quotes were July 5th, 2022. This is the 22nd of August, and we haven't acted on it yet. I know the interest rate bumped a full percentage point, and there's quite a disparity between RBC at 5.29 and NLCU at 6.5. I would think 6.5 is more indicative of the rate that we're going to get today on a loan if we go and honor this, because it doesn't say that the loan is good for a period of 30 days, whatever it is. We still got to go through approval to borrow for the province to send it back to us yet before these get locked in. I'm not comfortable with rates, and we've had that money sitting there doing nothing for a period of time. Why don't we take that, use it, incorporate it into what we're doing over the next number of years, pay ourselves back. We can still say, if it was $50,000 for a loan payment, it can still be $50,000 from a budget item, except that it's just going back to the asset management fund with principal and interest included in it.
So that means we
And
defer
Norman's not
this?
here, he's on vacation for the past week or bit too, so I couldn't really discuss that with him either, but that's where my mind goes on it. Two things: one is firm up the numbers from the Royal Bank, that make sure they're up to date, because I suspect that they probably are outdated, and consider using that, our reserve funding for that. And that's a much bigger discussion moving forward, because we've got to have a conscious decision to replenish that on an ongoing basis and actually increase it on an ongoing basis. I've done some work in the background out of myself, but that's where my mind goes on it.
I don't disagree with Councillor Chapper on that, because since we have had that corporate services meeting, one thing I can say from the background I'm in, from my own work, that fixed rates are actually dropping a little bit. So it'd be good to go back to review instead of locking in for something for 10 years that potentially The quote we have now, we could be getting a better quote. Prime could be going up in September again, but fixed rates are on the way down due to bond yields. So it's a good idea to have a good second look at this to see exactly where we are presently.
Well, you know when you get personal loans now for personal investments for 4.25 or 4.5, you know your loans are gonna be.
Yeah, commercial is generally a little bit hard too, but there are, again, I think they might have come down a little bit, but again, a second set of eyes is what we need on that.
Well, we could defer this if you like.
I think it's a good idea,
Next
because
meeting,
it has been a topsy-turvy, over the last month and a half, so.
Okay. And our next meeting is in 2 weeks, so it's not
Yeah.
a long time. The only thing that, and I agree with you, but using our own money, borrowing from ourselves and paying it back, but that's the key, right?
Yes.
The last 2 years in our budget, council decided to decimate our reserves that we've had, so now we got none. So you gotta be careful. The council has to have the commitment to pay that money back and not just use it to lower taxes.
That's why I made the comment. It's a bigger nut to crack. We just gotta be committed to doing it for a period of time, and at the same time, we have to grow that asset management fund, because by rights, we need to get to the point that we can actually spend our own money rather than have to go to the bank. That's, part of the intention of going down the whole asset management road, is to have that dollars to do it. $2.5 million is not enough to really start it, but at this point in time, I think, that's 6% or 5.5% interest, and we're sitting there with the money. Let's pay ourselves back for it and go on.
Yep. All right, so do we want to defer these two?
Yeah. I'll be,
Okay, so,
things by staff later for this.
motion.
Motion to
moved and
defer.
Seconded.
Yeah.
Could I get unanimous consent to withdraw that motion? In favor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Then we'll just, and
For now, yeah.
and we'll defer the other one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Are we doing a motion to defer it?
No, we got unanimous consent to withdraw, because, let's do a motion to defer those
You
two.
need a
Just in
motion.
case someone asks.
okay, motion to defer.
Oh.
Back to committee.
Yeah. So
Second.
motion number 2, loan financing, Seconder?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Okay,
So
motion,
there's two things associated with that, right? One is the revised rates, to make sure the confirmation of rates from the institutions, and the look at using our own funds from our reserve, right?
Right, but that'll have to come back through the committee.
Yes, I'm just saying, but that's the
Okay.
issue.
Rationale,
No issues.
okay. Good.
okay, motion 3, we have a donation request from the U14 Female Atlantic Baseball Championship. Julia Sharp of Torbay has been selected as a member of the provincial U14 female baseball team. Team NL will be representing NL at the 2022 U14 Female Atlantic Baseball Championship in Moncton, New Brunswick. In accordance with the town's donation policy, the Corporate Services Committee recommends a donation of $100 toward the team travel cost to participate in the 2022 Atlantic Championship. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So motion 4, NL Citizens Crime Prevention Association. The Citizens Crime Prevention Association of NL has requested the town of Torbay purchase advertising space in the Drug Abuse Awareness Guide. Proceeds raised each year are used to fund the Citizens Crime Prevention Association of NL carry out and support crime prevention programs throughout NL, such as the annual Halloween pumpkin patrols, family violence seminars, alcohol and drug awareness projects, and cyberbullying programs in conjunction with the RCMP and RNC. The Corporate Services Committee, in accordance with the town's donation policy, recommends purchasing of advertising space in the Citizens Crime Prevention Association of NL Drug Abuse Awareness Guide in the amount of $260 for the 1/8 page business card, full color. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
So there's the usual list of invoices with lots of, not invoices, but reports, documents. Are there any questions on any of those? Okay, that's it.
That's it. Thank you, sir. All right, economic development and tourism. Councillor Goss, you're up. Chair's not here, and member's not here, so
I wasn't with,
it's just a report, a update.
There's through the update there's Picker Ridge Memorial Project. Planning's underway for Small Business Week, which takes place October 16th to 22nd. The Picker Ridge
That's the wrong
Memorial.
heading, by the way. I think that should be Small Business Week. It's the
Yeah,
first one.
really, I was gonna say.
Where's the next one?
Picker Ridge is the next memorial project. Construction the Picker Ridge Memorial closes August 26th. The proposal will be evaluated between August 29th and 31st. And we brought to the committee September 6th for a public meeting. Community market, there were over 70 vendors registered. The marketplace will take place Saturday, August 20th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. inside the Torbay Common and is free admission. Business Support's online business passport program is currently posting on social media, encouraging residents and visitors to snap a photo while visiting a Torbay business between August 5th and September 30th. All photos will be added to online album, and the winner will be picked for a $250 prize value. Tourism, Provincial Tourism Opportunities Session. There is a scheduled with the Department of Tourism, Culture, Arts and Recreation for August 18th to discuss logistics for planning a Provincial Tourism Opportunity Session in Torbay this fall. The date will be confirmed at August 18th meeting. 2023 marketing is currently reviewing tourism marketing opportunities for the upcoming year, travel guide, and other avenues that would be beneficial and effective for increasing Torbay's tourism profile and attraction. More details will be shared by the committee as they become available. And the next meeting is September 8th, 2022.
All right, any questions? I saw some pictures yesterday. I wasn't able to attend, but the community market looked like it was well attended. It was, people were commenting it was a good setup, and there was a lot of vendors there. So, and the Folk Arts Council did some performing. Thanks to everybody involved. All right, history, heritage, culture. Deputy Mayor.
We had our meeting on August 4th, and Councillor Tapper and Noah were in attendance. I'm not going to get into everything in here, but I think from a financial report here, that the manager received notice from Canadian Heritage on August 2nd that Canada Culture Spaces Fund application was successful, and the History House has received $110,000 in funding to support the construction of a new collection storage room, which is great. Like Noah, he's been doing a fantastic job with going out and getting any kind of grants that he can possibly for funding that he can apply for, and if he doesn't get it, he's back looking for how he can change things and potentially make it happen the next time around. Museum operations, exhibit installation is still in progress. The opening, everything went, well, I was going to getting ahead of myself. The opening of the Torbay in Arts, Craft and Torbay and the Sea exhibit are scheduled for November 5th. And the Mannion Collection exhibit, developed, the History House staff have developed an exhibit, brief and systematic for the upcoming Mannion Collection exhibition and launch, which is scheduled for this weekend. And fall exhibitions, there are new art exhibitions will open between September and December, including exhibitions by Torbay artists Brenda Rowe and Darren Martin. The Amherst Landing Monument, the committee discussed the upcoming anniversary of Amherst Landing and the need for a formal dedication. And we've got, I know I've got September 13th marked for that to happen. Archival Reference Service Operations, he's met with the manager and member of the Mannion Project Advisory Committee, met with the Department of Tourism, Culture, Arts and Recreation, Assistant Deputy Minister Jerry Osmond to discuss plans for the Mannion Project. The ADM encouraged the committee to apply for the CDP program, and the manager prepared and submitted an application for $40,000 in funding. And the Land and Sea Festival, that's this weekend. One thing that I would say, and I don't know, maybe it's there and I haven't seen it, I haven't seen a lot of promotion on that. I don't know about you, Councillor Tapper, if there was anything on the Torbay site today, because we were asking for some posters and that to be done up for that,
For what?
for the Land and Sea Festival this weekend.
I saw it today, it's on the town's Facebook page.
Is on the, okay,
It's in this too.
on the back of that. I haven't seen the
Yeah,
new one
everything's
yet.
there.
Because
Yeah,
a lot of people would know that Sean Sullivan, and that I haven't seen anything mentioning Sean Sullivan and being available or going to be there on Friday night.
Yeah. Actually, I mentioned, I was into a meeting this morning with Noah and a few other people, and I brought that to his attention because on what I've seen, it's only Sullivan and Slaney, but there's actually two other well-known performers, Jim Bradley and Sheldon Thornhill.
Oh,
So
really?
there's going to be four of them
Yeah,
on stage, so, you know, these are really well-known performers, so
yeah.
I
The only
asked
thing I
Noah to
saw
add
was
them to the
Sean
table.
Sullivan and band is
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
I've seen.
yeah.
And, you know, it's
Yeah.
a missed opportunity if we don't get that out, because we asked to get some posters done up to put around in various establishments.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Same as what we done for the 50th anniversary for our dance and the reunion. Because when people see somebody like Sean Sullivan's face and Sheldon and Rob, I don't know the other person, but that means a lot to people. So we're down to the 12th hour with it all now. So, Ann, can you follow up, make sure something gets moving on that? And you mentioned it this morning, Ralph, you're saying at the meeting that you had with them. Yeah. And is there anything else that I'm missing out of that? Maybe you can go into further.
Yeah, I just want to
Detail.
remind everybody, because all councillors were sent an invite to the Mannion Project launch. It's 2 o'clock on Friday, and we're going to have a good turnout there. There's 3 people coming over from Ireland, and there's going to be a financial or a money, whatever you want to call it,
Funding announcement.
funding announcement,
We'll have a funding announcement.
which is going to be very, very positive for the town, and for the
Excellent.
History House.
One of our
So,
favorite
you know,
things.
we met this morning to finalize the plans for that, and I hope, you know, if you could, I know some people are working, but just to drop up for an hour on Friday and just see who's there, and, you know, I think it's going to be good for the town, like I said, so, moving forward. But, and at the same time now, on September the 5th, there's going to be a similar launch in Cork University on the Irish side. So actually, the Prime Minister of Ireland is attending that one. So that's pretty high scale for them. So that's, you know, so hopefully we'll have a great weekend. Like I say, the music is there on as part of the festival on Friday night. But there's going to be other events there as well, all through Saturday. There's going to be music, storytelling, the whole works, right through Saturday evening. And Sunday, there's going to be a beach picnic down at the beach area, so it's going to be a full weekend again. Hopefully the weather will cooperate.
So the bottom line then, for anybody that haven't seen anything on it, is to check Facebook and help spread the word that there's activities basically all this weekend taking place at the History House and Museum.
Don't
How
take
about-
long, once you get it on Facebook, how many people were up to that storytelling thing the other night, 40 or 50? back deck was full.
Yeah.
It was full,
Yeah. Yeah, so
but
I just noticed that.
that's been on the go for a while, that the performer up there, he had his picture and everything up. They did it, and it was shared a lot, like that's been out a couple of weeks, and before long, people are making other plans, so I haven't really seen much to be able to share it on it personally myself, but I've been talking about it.
So this is interesting. So for the month of July, we had 900 visitors to the History House. Which is really good for our first month in operation. Now we can figure out how to monetize that, it'd be all good.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that people are excited by the building, and they, from what I've been told, they really like it. And people that might have been a little skeptical, not necessarily naysayers, but of course we got them for everything we do, but people that were a little skeptical about the History House, now that they've been in there and they see what's happening there and the asset that it is to the town, they're after completely, they're right on board now, so.
I haven't heard one negative comment.
No, I haven't.
I just been going down over to continue with that report, like on NEC, he's got, the manager has a list there of the fundings, grants and what have you, that he's put in for and what's been successful to date. And I have to give a shout out to him over with the opening and everything that's after taking place there the summer up there, that the staff have gone above and beyond expectations, knowing on the 1st of July that opened up, and a couple of days before, the amount of work that had to go into that. So great job to him and his staff. So there's a lot on the end of all of this report in here, so if anybody's got any questions on any of it. We had another meeting, I'm looking back at it, on the 21st of July as well, so, which we basically hit on again in the last one we had.
All right, perfect.
I just want to bring the
Thank you.
attention to,
Go ahead.
and it goes back, I guess, to the conversation we had on the gap analysis. The note here that the 100 hours of additional overtime that was worked by staff and 1.5 staff assigned to History House for all the activities that are there. If you just think about it, you know, on a who needs to be there on an ongoing basis, and for the volume of activity that's gone through History House in the first month of operation, we really need to get a handle on you know, what events are upcoming and what that means from a person power perspective, and what that means from a monetary perspective moving forward too, from budget side of things. And it's fantastic that NOAA's got all these grants, and you know, sometimes you pay a fortune for a person to write grants in other organizations. You know, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars there that NOAA is availed of for the benefit of the town, and we just got to make sure we get a handle on what it all looks like. I mean, a lot of people walk through there. I mean, and I even, when we were over there for the Mayor's Garden Party and other events that were there, you look at it, it's probably short-staffed from a control perspective. Even a lot of people just walking through. I mean, it could be anybody walk through there, and nobody knows who's going or coming at any point in time. It's just open house, open doors. One person goes in front door and out the back door, and you probably never see him. You know, and you know, all it would take would be for the wrong person to do that, I think, too. So there are some concerns. It's great. It's great news. It's great activity, and certainly the uptake has been absolutely fantastic for everything that's gone on there. So
Yeah. Well, to your point, right, it was the big unknown for us, how the operations are gonna go there, and it looks like they're going really good. So certainly now, I guess, with budget coming up, we're gonna have to look at that, make sure that we address what the needs are up there, and look at the whole big picture.
Just to mention too, one idea that Noah mentioned to corporate services, anyway, our committee, was to have a staff committee for grant applications. Writing, like Tony mentioned, you know, is something that it's an art in itself. But we got Noah, we got Deanne Lawrence in economic development, even, and some of the community groups as well. Derek Diamond applies for grants, right? But it is, you know, something to that you gotta have an act for, and with the numbers that you see here, Noah has been successful in getting over half or more than what he applied for, you know, so that's, we're gonna bring that to committee level. I mentioned to Norm already, but I think it's a great idea.
Okay, sounds good. Alrighty, moving on. Infrastructure, Public Works, Councillor Pollard.
It's funny, I reviewed this in my own mind. I thought I was finished with it. Oh, long night is already. Gee. We met on the 10th of August via Zoom. That's the week I had COVID, unfortunately. I'm not going to read everything that's here. A lot of it's a repeat, just due to the nature of things around the go. The flow meter project is still in process. Expected to start if it hasn't already, and I haven't had a chance with Brian. Brian is on vacation this week. It hadn't started up until the point in time we had the meeting, so hopefully the project has started now. There was some issue with, I think, the production of the actual chambers themselves in time, so that should be starting soon. The sidewalk project is on the hit list, and whenever Wares get a chance, they should be back this month to finish off the sidewalk, especially down by the pole in the middle of the sidewalk to go around that and other things. The roadwork project tender closed the 18th. I was expecting that there would have been a follow-up on that from Municipal Affairs and that to award. I expect that'll be between now and the next meeting that will come forward to finally get that road work done. Stormwater mitigation, we had the conversation with director to, you know, try to push the companies now to get this stuff moving because they're just kind of sitting there. You get the approvals done and then you gotta wait for design and then they gotta do multiple visits and they get tied up in holidays and that as well, but we certainly ask that they try to push these things forward faster than they're doing at the present time, and hence the project timelines in terms of, you know, so to get a better idea of what it takes to actually get a project from fruition, I guess, to out the door, and so the timelines associated with the projects there. The open space and trails, we just saw the notice from Municipal Affairs on that in the correspondence section in terms of Englobe getting the award letter for that. Generator project, same thing in terms of trying to get them pushed to get that done. You would think that it would be fairly straightforward. All the connections and, you know, inside work is done from the generator side of things to the Torbay Common. It's just a matter of getting someone to actually design that document so we can go to tender and get the proper generator for it. So hopefully that'll be done sooner than later. Other than that, I guess the big thing is the water levels in North Pond are above where they were this time last year, so we're still, we say, you know, normal levels are 10 to 11 feet. We're at 10 feet as of August 12th, and I think we had some rain since then, although we may have some sun since then too to dry it up, so we're probably in the same area, so it wasn't the same alarm as this time last year. And the speed calming on the Balding line is still, we're going to have to put some stealth boxes somewhere, not on light and power poles, and we're suggesting that we have another meeting with the RNC in the fall to further discuss what is going on the Balding line itself overall. I guess the biggest thing for us that came out of recent discussions was the fact that the water treatment or the study for Great Pond is getting ready to go to the province and the TFO for environmental assessment, and we got to try to make sure we stay on top of everybody to push that. Don't let it sit on someone's desk, move through. I know I spoke to CAO and she responded that she was going to follow up. I haven't seen anything since, but that's something that we should, you know, almost daily follow up and make sure that it doesn't sit on someone's desk, because that's, you know, our bread and butter at the present time is the need for those water resources. So when's my report, Your Worship?
Any questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just wondering about the, when you mentioned crosswalk, so they're coming back to put sods in where there is none?
You talking about across from Town Hall?
Oh, sorry, I'm not talking, I'm talking about the crosswalk, the sidewalks, the sods. Are they going to put the sods in where there is none right now? Because they left right in the middle of lane. I thought the sods would go in everywhere if they put it in 80% of the place.
Not sure, Mary, I'll ask that question, because I know I was more thinking of the actual concrete that's left to be done. And I know they were waiting for the bolts for the section across from Town Hall here. But I don't know.
Yeah, and then there was that emergency light, whatever happened after the fire department, because the infrastructure was supposed to be put in the sidewalk.
Right,
Is that being done?
that is part of what I was just saying about the bolts. They were waiting for the bolts to come in, to come back and do it, but I didn't see any progress on it yet, so.
Yeah, okay, well, the sods is the other
Yeah.
thing.
I have no idea that.
And, yes, and I have a thing here, crosswalk was down bigger because we had, I just want to know what the status, or if you talked about it. We had a resident come and speak about a crosswalk down by Lower Street and
Yeah.
Enemy Line.
Yeah.
And the worst thing about being involved and on the go the past few weeks with the 50th anniversary is that I had 2 other people mention to me about the need for the crosswalk down there. And that's something that could be put in fairly easily. I'm thinking a crosswalk, put them in for other areas, but we really need one down there for the trail that's coming up, and if anyone's going in
Yeah.
Enemy Line,
Yeah.
as well as the postal.
We did discuss that. I don't know where that stands right off the top of my head. I know that was one of the ones that we had talked about. I don't know if I've seen any.
And,
There
yeah,
really should
because
be
we
a
gave
flashing
that
light there as
resident,
well.
what?
There really should be a flashing light there too, because of
Well,
the turn.
but we gave the resident a good indication that night when she was here, thinking that it was a good idea. And we've got one here and one up there that we just installed and over by Juniper Ridge. But that one is on that blind turn, so, the other thing that I've got here, and I don't see it anywhere, and I don't know, I'm thinking that it probably comes under your committee, Tony, and that's, they were doing upgrades down by the memorial, and they got the steps put in, but I understood after July 1st, they were going to do other enhancements with that, and it was going to be completed for November 11th. So does that fall? Because that's not
Says-
on,
Says here
Mentioned
that
area.
Yeah.
the next phase of the work will start in mid-late August.
mid-late
So the
August.
stairs are done.
Yeah, and then the other part of it was going to be done. And the other question I've got for you, and you might know something about it, was the work out in Roblin Place, is that being changed?
No?
So still the ditching and all of that's supposed to be done out there?
Whatever was originally discussed last year. at the
Discussed,
time,
is
no
not-
change yet.
yeah.
I know we had conversations about the culverts, and I did ask whether the culverts need to be replaced. They will be replaced, so I assume that anything else that needs to be done will be done at the same time.
Okay. All right, so that we can, now that's, was one of the inquiries, and you probably had the same inquiry.
Okay.
All right,
Did it?
yeah.
All right, thank you. Recreation and Community Services.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Recreation Committee Services update for August 15th to August 22nd. Update items, program events, most up-to-date schedule for remaining events for the Celebrate Torbay's 50th birthday can be found on the torbay.ca anniversary-celebrations. Staff are finalizing program and event plans for fall 2022 and have submitted recreation to the communication officers for a fall guide. General registration is scheduled to open to residents September 5th and non-residents September 12th. The town has partnered with the Torbay Lions Club for a back-to-school donation drive to support students who are returning to school for the end of the summer. More information on this initiative can be found at torbay.ca articles/back-to-school drive. Summer Day Camp ends August 19th, so past week. After 8 weeks of successful camp, the camp would like to send out a big thank you to all the staff that worked hard to make the camp a success. There were 480 registrations for summer camp this year. As this week is Killy Coast Games, we'd like to say good luck to all the athletes we have participating in that. We have 151 athletes registered from Torbay. Updated schedules can be found on the Town of Flat Rock website, townofflatrock.com. And as far as facility updates, concrete basis for the entrance sign at Torbay Commons. Common has been installed. The sign is scheduled to be shipped for the contractor on August 17th. All community groups were required to submit their fall/winter rental requests in by August 11th. Staff are working to develop the facility rental schedule. And finally, the splash pad at Torbay Common will be closed for the season at the end of day on September 4th. The CAO is still working with Marco to ensure the required remaining repairs are completed at that point. So ends my report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Just a note on that report, every time I see that information around the splash pad and the discussions we had last year with legal on both sides, and everything was supposed to be done by May, and we released the payment after they begged and borrowed for us to say, listen, you know, we're gonna get done, and we're still talking about it. Well, I note to self that I've never in a million years released anything till it's done anymore. Never.
Totally agree.
I always, you know, I know better, but.
We still do have a last name on that though, right?
Hmm?
Don't we have a bond on that?
Bond, yeah, I think the bond is due October, and we should look at that, make sure.
Yeah. All right. Any
Can
other
I
questions?
just ask a question, and it's to Councillor Pollard, is not, I meant to ask, people have asked me about it. The sign over the end of Thorns Lane, Councillor Pollard, for $1.6 million for upgrades to water services, I think it says.
That's
What's-
the zone metering project.
Zone metering, yeah.
Okay, and that's the right amount, 1 point, not like the one that's out here on the side saying it's 2.6 and it's 1 point something. They're only $1 million over on that side. I'm gonna get a marker and go out and change it, make it right.
We should.
A can of paint in my truck.
Okay.
All right, that's that. Thank you
Thanks.
very much. Liaison committees. Atlantic Bears Congress is meeting this weekend in Shediac, New Brunswick. I am not attending. I will be attending the Land and Sea Festival and the PETA Memorial Softball Tournament instead. It's, you know, sometimes you gotta stay in your own backyard and celebrate your own town. But I will report back on that when I get the report from the meeting. And intergovernmental affairs, I don't have anything to report. Jack Byrne Arena,
We have met since June, so nothing to report.
have we, I got a question the other day from someone about, have we appointed our new
No,
board
we
members
haven't.
yet?
We were supposed to meet on that a couple of different times, but the summer kind of schedule got in the way. But we will rectify that in the coming few weeks once the CAO gets back. And
All right,
we
okay.
will. We have, I think, 5 or 6 applicants.
Okay, thank you. Northeast Avalon Joint Council.
Next meeting is middle of September.
All right, RNC, I don't have nothing to report. Torbay Volunteer Fire Department, the meeting minutes are attached. I will say thank you to the fire department for helping out with a lot of our events that have been going on, providing paramedic, or is that the right word? Standby or medical boot or whatever they do. Anyway, they show up and they're ready in case someone gets hurt to provide assistance. So thank you for doing that. And congratulations on another successful year down to the regatta. Where am I to? UMC, the UMC meeting was supposed to be August 11th, or, yeah, August 11th to the 15th in Grand Falls, Windsor, but I had to cancel it because of the forest fires that were on to go out there. But it is rescheduled for September 15th to the 17th. So I'll be going to Grand Falls, Windsor for that. And that's that. All right, nothing else there? All right, we don't have no notice of motion. New business, Councillor Tapper.
Just a couple of things. I just want to mention the cleanup that was done this last week or so up next to History House. Great turnout, great job, and you know, kudos for everybody who showed up. It was a lot of hard work. I don't know if you noticed the bunch of shrubs and everything that got to be towed away, but it was a massive job. But anyway,
That was
kudos.
prayer garden?
Yeah.
Prayer garden you're talking about.
Prayer garden, yes.
That was on my list.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's going to end up with the prayer garden is yet to be, obviously, but with visitors, especially the History House right across the road, is I think is important. To me, is a community property
Yeah.
that we gotta keep
Could we do
clean.
something similar with the old graveyard?
Well, there's talks about that. Yeah, I think this generated a lot of interest, right?
All right.
So, yeah.
So to your point about them tree clippings and all that, I told that somebody had messaged me, I said, you can dump them down here.
Yeah, no problem, but it's a dump truck load.
Oh, yeah.
So it's gonna be a while before it moved. The other thing is just with the come home here events and the turnouts. I've never, I've been here a good while, but I've never seen the events, and especially I think kudos to our new venues, the community centre or the Common, and it's unreal. The people that I talked to was their first time in there, right? And these are people who live in the community all their lives, right? But they're amazed with this facility, but that's what it's all about, getting people through. Same way with the History House that I mentioned before. But I think kudos to Barry Codner and all the volunteers and the committees for having such a great summer. It's not over yet, so hopefully everything else will work out the same.
All right. Councillor Ross. Deputy Mayor.
I had thank yous as well for the 50th celebration to come home here, to the volunteers and the staff. I've attended most events, and I must say everything has been top notch. So, and I guess one of our volunteers is here with us tonight, Paula, who's been right into it. So thank you very much. And I had the prayer garden volunteers as well. It was so nice to see the prayer garden and everything up there, and to Arlene, Luca, and Paul, I guess, for initiating that, which is something to me I look at Torbay for families, and that was something that it was really worthwhile in getting that out there. Thank you to everybody involved with the Killycoast Games. It's been my first experience being there and involved, but to the coaches and the staff that are involved in that, it's been amazing. And I have to say a big thank you to the team that I paddled with in the dragon boat race on Saturday. It was family and friends of Shirley Thorne, and the team was dragging our arses up the pond. And the big thing is that we bet Paradise. Yes. That was my goal.
Finally.
Oh my God, to have a team out there and beat them, like I was beyond so excited about it. And we came in second overall for the day and in the championship race. So I was like delighted. And I want to send out my condolences to the Mann family. I guess everybody's heard the passing of Gary Mann, who was well known in the community and for different things, but started off, I guess, Forest Landing and initiated the first big developments here. And condolences to Joan, Gerard, Colleen, and Lynn at this difficult time. It was amazing. We actually here one day, and healthy, strapping man, and a few months later, that's it. So that's it for me.
All right, thank you. And I share your sentiment on Gary. I just want to say good luck to all of the competitors and the coaches that are taking part in the Killycoast Games. Thank you for stepping in for me yesterday to introduce
You're welcome.
our honorary patron. And I've been getting a lot of comments from people about how well organized and run our events are for Torbay 50 and how well advertised they are. And I just want to say thank you to staff who've been working hard on that, and especially our volunteer committee who have been, Barry's philosophy is that up to the last minute, you can still make things better. All right, and I think they've done a great job, and I agree with him that you can always do something that doesn't matter to make things better, and I think that that's what everybody's been doing, so I really appreciate that. And I don't know that I've missed Killicoast Games opening ceremony was the first thing I missed, I think, this summer, and I really love getting out, seeing people and talking to them and taking part in all these events, and it's a whole lot of fun. And I think that, you know, the town should be very proud of what we've done so far this summer. And, you know, a lot of these things that we've organized, we're hopefully going to turn into yearly events, things that we can start to build some traditions for the town. Traditions that we used to have one time that kind of fell off the radar, but we have an obligation to, Ralph's point, we got these new facilities. People need to not be going in there for the first time. I want them in there for the first time, but to come back for the second time. So I got that. And I think that's pretty much it. And,
Fireworks Sunday night?
oh yes, there's fireworks Sunday night. Yep, 9 o'clock, down there. And to that point, I might as well run through this. August 26th to the 28th this weekend is our Land and Sea Festival at the History House. And there is a event associated with that down to the new performance deck at the beach, a picnic. So get online and order your picnic basket and get down there for that. The Pat Dow Softball Classic is happening this weekend into the Upper Tree Corner Field. Something that we look forward to every year. And they actually contribute to a scholarship at the high school, so in partnership with the town, it's a really good thing. And the fireworks are 9 o'clock. And then, I won't talk about anything else. We got other stuff that's gonna be happening. Oh, the quilt show, September 9th and 10th. But we'll have another council meeting before that, so we'll
I just want,
keep your eye out for it.
I've heard rumor, I haven't heard it officially, but people have been asking, they want to know when the dinner theater, and I heard that it's changed.
It's late
You know.
September. I think it's September 27th.
September
Or no,
24th
maybe.
was the date officially.
Yeah. I don't think it's finalized yet because they were working on the catering and that sort of thing. Some prices came in really expensive, so they're gonna have to regroup and see what the,
Okay, I heard,
But,
okay,
yeah.
it's October, but anyway,
Yes,
that's
it
not-
is in October sometime, Mary, because it was changed from the 27th.
Okay.
24th, yeah, so that's new then for residents to know that the dinner theater has changed to a date in October.
So keep your eyes out for when the dinner theater gets announced. It's all good.
Can I mention just
Go
one
ahead.
other thing that you just mentioned, and I wasn't here in the room when it was discussed, the new stage. It was used for the first time yesterday. It was a great turnout down there, but next Sunday, depending on a sign being done, I'm waiting for Dawn to get back for her to check on it, but we may have the official christening
Oh,
in
okay.
conjunction with the picnic.
All right.
Okay, so it should be a great afternoon.
Look down and bust a bottle of champagne over the bow of that.
Yeah, people will sing.
Sounds good. I'll be there for that. All right, so that's it. Q&A. Do you have any questions, Paula? All right. Did we receive any through email, Ann? Very good. Tony, can you want to spin that thing around for Paula, please?
Mayor Scott, you did say it best. The town really should be proud. I've been here almost 30 years now, and it's a lively, happening town. It's nice to be part of it and participate, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to the next budget meeting that's open to residents. Wondering if there's a date or just a month so I can start thinking about that, so I'm not out of the province.
I would guess it'll probably be sometime in October, I'm thinking.
Okay.
That's just a guess on it.
Okay.
We got presentations not taking place starting September.
Yeah, but that'll be staff.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so open to the, I think it's been every year, hasn't it? Every year it's open
Yeah.
to the residents, there's one part.
Yeah.
And the other one, I showed up early and walked across the road just to get to the pharmacy and realized the crosswalk isn't there. So what's happening there? Because I know there's a lot going on with crosswalks.
Yeah, so Tony talked about they put infrastructure under the road for the new lights for the fire department. That's why that part of that sidewalk or whatever is not finished yet. So I guess we'd have to get our crosswalk painted back there.
Okay,
once they're on
so
there.
that's going to happen, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay. That it? That was easy. All right. Thank you. Bye. So, the next public council meeting is scheduled to take place Tuesday, September 6th, 2022. We are leaving our summer schedule and going back to our regular 2-week schedule now. So, at 6:30 PM here in the council chambers of the town of North Bay. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.